People were anxious to avoid running into ghosts who may be looking to settle a debt, and so they took to disguising themselves. Some would wear clothes inside out, blacken their face, and don homemade masks. Over time, this superstition was passed on to children, but we can get insight into early 20th century guising through the writing of Florence Mary McNeill.
As soon as it's dark, small, fantastically garbed figures wearing grotesque masks emerge from their homes carrying turnip lanterns or kale-runt torches, and forming into little groups or processions, they pass through the village street, singing one of their traditional rhymes.
Geysers were dressing up, emulating the mischief of the spirits, fairies, and beasties that were said to come alive. Florence goes on to say in her book that the young people would guise as
ghoulies, ghasties and bogies, fairies, banshees and gurgachs, witches, warlocks and wurricos, brownies, urisks and shellycoats, kelpies and water bulls, spunkies, gnomes, trolls and sprites, the whole unhallowed clamjamfray of the netherworld.
Folklorists suggested that these costumes could have been based on original Celtic gods, once formidable divine beings of nature, who would reveal themselves in Samhain, fading into tales and then into caricatures of malicious creatures. I spoke with Dr. Lindsay Middleton from Glasgow Uni about an article she wrote this week on the history of Halloween traditions.
During the time of year when the veil was thinning and the spirits were moving closer to the mortal realm, people believed they could use those spiritual connections to determine their romantic fate, and food was often tied into this. So alongside bobbing for apples, you might roast hazelnuts or cob nuts in the fire to determine the future of your love life. Should the nuts remain on the grate and roast peacefully side by side, the chances of harmonious love were good. But if the nuts started off and sparked out of the fire erratically, your relationship might well be doomed.
The other thing you mentioned was kale pulling.
This was to see whether one's future husband or wife might be tall or straight or little or crooked. The root of the kale stalk was seen to tell about the stature of one's future spouse. Not only that, but the amount of dirt that clung to the stalk indicated the wealth of a future partner.
So alongside the spooky matchmaking, wearing masks survived into early adulthood. But instead of pranks, Florence noted in her book that they would go
house to house, entertaining the company with singing and dancing, and having their buggy filled with such traditional dainties as burst-in brunies, legs of fivda and sparrows, besides butter, cheese and money.